At this point, you've learned everything that you need to know before you enter into an interview. See, during this course, you have acquired the skills needed to get and ace any interview that you go on. You have made the right move in choosing this course as your guide, I promise you that. Now, as promised, you are going to approach your next interview with a leg up on the competition. See, by now, you have learned to get the interview of your dreams. You've learned how to prepare for that interview, so you go in with a great deal of confidence. You have learned the best way to behave during that interview. You have learned how to make a great first impression and how to build the best resume for that dream job. You have learned how to create a winning cover letter. I think we went over that. I know we went over it twice and maybe even touched on it a third time. We have discussed and you have learned what to do during a restaurant interview. You've learned how to dress for success, how to close an interview. And see, that's important. That's like closing a sale. If you don't do that, you just well not even gone on the interview. You've learned what questions you will be asked during an interview. I've also given you a list of questions you should ask during an interview. And I've also given you that all-important list of questions that cannot be asked during an interview. And I also taught you how to follow up on your interview, what employers are directly looking for from you. Now, you have learned everything you need to know in this course, and probably a little more than that. Don't worry. If you have listened and used all of the information in this course, you have increased your chances of getting that job by 100%. How do I know that? Because I've conducted hundreds of interviews. If you are due to have an interview, you've already learned how to ace the interview just by going through this particular course. So relax and go get that job. Now, sometimes, however, especially after that first interview, you will be invited back to interview with someone other than the HR department or a headhunter. This person may be the head of the department you will be working in if you get the job. The fact that you are interviewing with this person is a pretty good indicator that you are in the running, but it is also a very dangerous meeting. See, this person may or may not have interviewing skills, and they just want to meet with you to see if there's going to be a good fit with you and the rest of the people you work with. That's where the last part of this course comes into play. Now, I've previously written and published a course on communication, and especially communication in the workplace. In that course, we talk about proper verbal and written communication, and then we spend time learning how to communicate effectively with different personality types. For instance, if you have an outgoing personality and you are meeting with an analytical type, then you have to communicate in a way that will seem comfortable to you. It'll seem uncomfortable to you, but it will be very comfortable to them. If you don't, see, then the conversation, there's no communication, if you will. The conversation is just out. But it's still very important because they're deciding whether to hire you or not. So you want to take notes and review them every time you have a second interview so that you will be able to spot the personality, then adjust your approach accordingly. So that's what we're going to talk about in the second half of this course. Now, I need to mention something. This just is an aside. We've talked about proper dress. You want to dress for the kind of job you're applying for, but kick it up just a notch. As I mentioned, the second half of this is taken from a course that I produced, I think it's 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half, something like that. And it was for business people only, primarily people in leadership positions. So my dress is different. My look is different. I bring that up because I want you to see, and you can respond if you'd like. I want you to see if you felt different listening to someone speaking to you in a pullover sweater and a shirt, or with a jacket on. See, I found in my life when I have meetings with people, consulting meetings or group meetings, the meeting is set, the tone of the meeting is set by what I wear. If I walk in there in a soft shirt and jeans, it's a very casual, kickback kind of atmosphere, and I get a lot of input from the audience. If I walk in with a dress shirt, tie, and a jacket on, it's very formal. Even though I don't want it to be, it becomes a very formal kind of meeting, much less audience response. Same can be true for your interview. Just notice to yourself, do I sense a difference in these two different approaches? Thank you. We'll see you now in the second half.